Hey Cowboys Nation, the NFL season is officially underway, and there is no better way to kick things off than with a showdown between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Week 1 always carries a unique energy. Teams are still shaking off the rust, coaching strategies are being tested, and even the most dominant squads can face unexpected hurdles. For the Cowboys, this opening game is more than just a matchup. It is an early statement. Facing the reigning champions on their home turf is never easy, but there is a spark of potential here that could catch the Eagles off guard. The excitement of primetime football under the bright lights of Thursday night is palpable, and every single play feels like it could set the tone for the rest of the season. The Eagles come into this game with all the accolades from last season, fresh off their Super Bowl victory, which means there will be rings, ceremonies, and celebrations to soak in the glory of what they accomplished. Their reputation as a powerhouse is well-earned, and the betting lines reflect that confidence in them as favorites. However, Week 1 games are notoriously unpredictable, and that's exactly why fans tune in with anticipation, hoping for a shock, hoping to witness the underdog rising to the occasion. For Dallas, the challenge is clear. They must rise above expectations, and every player, every play, and every moment will count. Looking at Dallas, the team comes in with a mixture of confidence and questions. The new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, has a fresh approach, but as with any first season, there will be adjustments. Leadership, communication, and in-game adaptability will be under the microscope from the very first snap. The Cowboys roster, while talented, has a few uncertainties, especially along the offensive and defensive lines. Injuries are always a factor in Week 1. And while some key players are fully participating in practice, others are on watch lists, carrying minor strains or recovering from off-season surgeries. Trayvon Diggs, Tyler Tahn, and Brevin Spanford have all been active in practice sessions, which is encouraging. Their availability and performance will be critical, particularly as the Cowboys look to contain the Eagles' explosive offense. On the flip side, players like Perrine Winfrey have some lingering issues, and while they might suit up, there's always a cloud of doubt hanging over their contribution. Every roster spot, every substitution, and every snap will be analyzed, and Dallas cannot afford a slow start. The Eagles, meanwhile, bring their own set of strengths and lingering concerns. A.J. Brown is fully cleared to play after his hamstring recovery, which is a relief for the Eagles' passing game. Jalen Carter is also fully participating, maintaining the stability of their defensive line. Meanwhile, a few others like Joshua Uke and Andrew Makuba have limited participation, signaling caution but nothing alarming. Landon Dickerson, who struggled with some early week practice participation, remains a key player to monitor, as his presence on the field could influence both the offensive line's cohesion and the Cowboys' defensive strategy. Even backups like Tanner McKee may not play, but depth is always a factor in the long season ahead. Philadelphia enters the game with confidence, but Dallas has the opportunity to exploit any gaps, any hesitation, and any lapse in focus that can occur in the first week of competition. One of the most critical keys for the Cowboys will be limiting Saquon Barkley. Last season, Barkley was one of the most dominant running backs in the league, and his combination of speed, vision, and physicality makes him a nightmare for any defense. He totaled over 2,000 yards across 16 games, an incredible workload that tested his endurance and durability. Historically, players who carry such a heavy workload in a single season often see some regression, but Barkley's talent and versatility ensure he remains a constant threat. Containing him will require disciplined defensive line play, linebackers who can read and react quickly, and secondary support that can adjust to unexpected plays. The Cowboys' run defense struggled at times last year, ranking near the bottom in yards allowed per carry and touchdowns conceded on the ground. With the addition of Kenny Clark, there is hope that the defensive front can be more disruptive, but relying on a single player to carry the entire unit would be unrealistic. It will take coordination, focus, and relentless effort across the roster to slow down Barkley's impact on the game. The passing game for Dallas must also perform at the highest level. Dak Prescott has to channel the precision, vision, and decisiveness from his peak seasons. The Cowboys' success hinges on his ability to deliver under pressure, find his top targets, and maintain consistency in timing and accuracy. CeeDee Lamb will need to make plays in critical situations, stretching the field and creating separation against elite cornerbacks. George Pickens is expected to see favorable matchups, particularly against lesser-known defensive backs, giving him the opportunity to make a significant impact. Tight end Jake Ferguson must contribute in the middle of the field, providing reliable options and keeping the Eagles' linebackers honest. The synergy of these playmakers is essential. Individual brilliance can only go so far if the unit fails to operate cohesively. Execution, anticipation, and timing are everything when facing a defense of Philadelphia's caliber. Pressure on the quarterback is another non-negotiable factor. Jalen Hurts, the Eagles' signal caller, is mobile and capable of extending plays with his legs, which makes containing him a formidable challenge. He is skilled at reading defenses and exploiting openings, but like all quarterbacks, he has moments of vulnerability under consistent pressure. The Cowboys' defensive front, including Dante Fowler, Marshawn Kneen, Sam Williams, Ezraku, and potentially Kenny Clark, will need to generate relentless pressure. Strategic blitzes and well-timed stunts could disrupt Hurts' rhythm, forcing quicker decisions and minimizing the opportunity for explosive plays downfield. Any lapse in pressure could allow Hurts to exploit the middle of the field or connect on deep throws, shifting momentum in Philadelphia's favor. The coordination between edge rushers, interior linemen, and linebackers will define whether the Cowboys' defense can impose their will. The running game for Dallas must also show flashes of life. While the preseason offered glimpses of potential, the true measure comes in regular season matchups. Devin Williams and other ball carriers must create opportunities, secure yardage, and keep the Eagles' defense honest. Philadelphia's run defense remains formidable, ranking at the top in total yards and passing yards allowed last season, making the establishment of a productive ground game a critical component of offensive balance. Failure to generate consistent rushing production risks placing the passing game in difficult third-down situations, which can stall drives and limit scoring opportunities. Strategic play calling, adjustments at the line, and execution by the offensive line will be crucial to any success on the ground. The Eagles' passing game presents a different set of challenges. Jalen Hurts is mobile, capable of extending plays and exploiting mismatches in coverage. His ability to roll out, escape the pocket, and deliver accurate throws on the move means the Cowboys must maintain discipline in their pass rush lanes. Edge defenders cannot be drawn too far out of position, or Hurts will have opportunities to find receivers downfield. Coverage assignments must be precise, with linebackers and safeties aware of potential scrambles and secondary routes. Blitzes must be calculated, executed with timing, and designed to funnel Hurts into favorable coverage zones. If the Cowboys can pressure without overcommitting, they may force hurried throws or turnovers. But if they are too predictable or aggressive without discipline, Hurts can capitalize, creating explosive plays that shift momentum instantly. Wide receiver matchups are another focal point. CeeDee Lamb, as the primary target, must be a consistent threat throughout the game. His ability to create separation, adjust to contested catches, and make plays after contact will challenge Philadelphia's secondary. George Pickens, depending on matchups, could exploit coverage weaknesses, particularly against less experienced cornerbacks. Tight ends like Jake Ferguson must find soft spots in zone coverage, provide reliable outlets, and contribute in critical third-down situations. The timing between Prescott and his receivers will be paramount. The difference between success and failure can hinge on split-second decisions and execution under pressure. Defensively, the Cowboys must also contend with the Eagles' complex offensive schemes. Philadelphia often disguises coverages, mixing man and zone concepts, and using motion to create confusion. Linebackers must read keys quickly, anticipate route combinations, and maintain coverage discipline. Safeties must balance run support with deep coverage responsibilities, knowing that a single lapse could result in a touchdown. The interplay between pressure and coverage is critical. If the pass rush collapses the pocket without secondary support, Hurts can find windows. Conversely, if coverage is tight but the rush is ineffective, Hurts has time to dissect the defense. This delicate balance between pressure, containment, and discipline will likely define the game. Special teams also cannot be overlooked. Field position, kickoffs, and punt coverage can influence momentum and scoring opportunities. The Cowboys must execute cleanly, avoid penalties, and capitalize on every advantage. A well-timed return, a blocked kick, or a shrewd directional punt could shift the field in favor of Dallas. Conversely, mistakes in this phase could compound the pressure on both offense and defense. In close matchups, special teams often make the difference between a narrow win and a crushing loss. The mental aspect of the game will be equally critical. Week 1 is as much about psychological readiness as physical performance. Players must manage nerves, maintain focus, and execute the game plan under the spotlight. Schottenheimer's leadership will be tested. His ability to motivate, making game adjustments, and keep the team composed will play a significant role in how the Cowboys perform. Football is a game of momentum, and the ability to respond to adversity, whether it is sudden turnover, a defensive stop, or an unexpected big play, will separate the winners from the losers. The us against the world mentality can be powerful, but must be paired with precise execution, preparation, and adaptability. Running back play will also impact play-calling strategy. The Cowboys need to establish some semblance of a ground game to complement the passing attack. Without a credible rushing threat, defenses can focus on pass coverage, stacking the box in passing situations, and forcing difficult third-down conversions. Success on the ground opens up the field, keeps defenses honest, and provides Prescott with more space to operate. It's not only about gaining yards, but also about controlling the clock, managing tempo, and creating opportunities for big plays. Establishing the run requires patience, vision, and aggressive but disciplined blocking from the offensive line. From a defensive standpoint, containing explosive plays and maintaining consistent pressure will be paramount. Barkley will test the Cowboys' discipline, forcing defenders to stay square, maintain pursuit angles, and avoid overcommitting. Any breakdown in gap integrity could result in explosive gains that swing momentum. Defensive backs must communicate pre-snap adjustments, maintain coverage responsibility, and support the run when necessary. The synergy between all levels of defense, line, linebacker, and secondary, must be seamless. One missed assignment can undo the efforts of an entire series. The interplay between strategy and execution will also be fascinating to watch. Dallas may need to adjust mid-game based on Philadelphia's tendencies, defensive alignments, and offensive sets. Adjustments in coverage, pass rush techniques, blocking schemes, and play calling will be ongoing. Coaching acumen will be tested as the game evolves, and the ability to read and respond to the opponent in real time can dictate outcomes. Schottenheimer's decision-making, adaptability, and communication with his players will be under scrutiny, and every choice could influence momentum, confidence, and ultimately the scoreboard. Momentum swings, big plays, and the intensity of primetime football make this matchup uniquely compelling. Every third down, red zone opportunity, and turnover carries heightened significance. The Cowboys' ability to execute under pressure, maintain composure, and capitalize on opportunities will be essential to staying competitive. The players' preparation, conditioning, and awareness will be tested from the first snap to the final whistle. Offensively, the Cowboys must balance aggression with discipline. Prescott needs to maintain precision in the passing game while reading defensive schemes and making quick, accurate decisions. Receivers must create separation, make contested catches, and convert crucial third downs. Running backs must sustain drives, exploit defensive gaps, and support tempo control. Every play is an opportunity to shift momentum, and execution under pressure will be the difference between a productive drive and a stalled possession. Defensively, Dallas faces the dual challenge of containing Barkley and applying consistent pressure on Hurts. Linebackers and safeties must anticipate routes, maintain assignment discipline, and react instantly to shifts in offensive strategy. The front seven must control gaps, win individual matchups, and set the tone with physicality and relentless effort. Every detail matters, from pre-snap alignment to post-snap pursuit, from play-calling adjustments to individual execution, from mental toughness to physical readiness. The Cowboys have the talent, preparation, and potential to challenge the Eagles, but everything must align. The interplay of strategy, skill, and execution will dictate the flow, intensity, and ultimately, the outcome of the matchup. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. C.J. Mosley's potential signing with the Dallas Cowboys has set the NFL rumor mill ablaze, sparking conversations among analysts, fans, and insiders alike about the immediate implications for one of the league's most scrutinized defenses. Mosley, a perennial Pro Bowl linebacker known for his versatility, intelligence, and ability to anchor a defense, would bring a presence to the Cowboys' front seven that could instantly elevate their on-field performance. The speculation is rife with questions about how he would fit into Dallas's defensive scheme under the current coordinator, particularly given the evolving dynamics in coverage responsibilities and blitz packages. Sources suggest that Mosley's ability to read plays before they develop could allow the Cowboys to adjust more aggressively to opposing offenses, potentially increasing turnover opportunities and reducing big plays. Rumors indicate that Mosley's leadership in the locker room would also serve as a stabilizing factor for younger players, particularly those transitioning into starting roles, providing mentorship that could accelerate their development. While contract details remain murky, insiders believe that the investment required to bring a player of Mosley's caliber would be justified by the immediate upgrade in defensive IQ and production. Analysts are already debating whether his presence could transform Dallas from a defensively average unit into a contender capable of challenging elite offenses in the NFC. Conversations about Mosley's impact extend beyond standard statistics, encompassing intangible elements such as morale, discipline, and the ability to execute complex schemes under pressure, with veteran reporters hinting that his arrival could signal a larger strategic shift in the Cowboys' defensive philosophy. Reports and whispers from inside the Cowboys organization suggest that C.J. Mosley's arrival could fundamentally alter the dynamics of the linebacking core, creating a domino effect that reshapes the entire defensive framework. The buzz centers not only on his capacity to stop the run, but also on his versatility in coverage, particularly against tight ends and running backs, a skill that could alleviate pressure on the secondary, which has historically been a point of vulnerability for Dallas. Rumors indicate that Mosley's presence would allow the team to experiment with more complex zone blitzes, disguising pressure schemes and creating confusion for opposing quarterbacks. Insiders hint that Mosley could also serve as a bridge between the defensive line and the secondary, coordinating adjustments in real time and enabling the defense to react more fluidly to shifts in offensive formations. Analysts are already speculating on how his football IQ would impact game planning, with some suggesting that the Cowboys could adopt a more aggressive, risk-taking approach, with Mosley calling signals from the middle of the field. Fan forums are buzzing with theories about how the team might deploy him, ranging from traditional inside linebacker roles to hybrid coverage assignments. While the deal remains unofficial, the perception among insiders is that Mosley's influence would be both immediate and far-reaching, affecting rotations, personnel groupings, and potentially the overall culture within the defensive unit. Even casual observers are beginning to imagine a Dallas defense that could disrupt opposing game plans at a higher rate, creating a ripple effect that elevates every level of the defensive roster, from the defensive line to the secondary. The rumor of C.J. Mosley signing with the Cowboys has ignited speculation about the broader strategic implications for the team's defensive philosophy, with some insiders suggesting that his addition could serve as a catalyst for a complete overhaul in approach. Analysts are debating how Mosley's experience and field awareness might influence the way defensive coordinators design schemes, with particular attention on his ability to read offensive linemen and anticipate play direction, skills that could drastically improve the team's run-stopping efficiency. Sources hint at the potential for Mosley to take on a de facto leadership role, orchestrating adjustments and communicating coverage responsibilities in real time, a capability that could streamline defensive communication and reduce blown assignments. Rumors circulating in sports media outlets also point to his potential impact on younger linebackers, whose development could accelerate under his guidance, leading to a more cohesive and disciplined unit. Discussions among fans and pundits frequently revolve around the possibilities of Mosley serving as a field general, calling audibles and adjusting formations to counter complex offensive strategies. Speculative narratives even suggest that his presence could shift the team's philosophy from reactive to proactive, with a focus on disruption, turnovers, and aggressive tackling techniques that force opponents into mistakes. The excitement around Mosley's potential signing underscores the belief that his arrival would not merely fill a positional gap, but fundamentally transform how the Cowboys approach defensive strategy, signaling a willingness to invest in experience, leadership, and intelligence at the heart of the defense. As conversations continue, the consensus among rumor watchers is that Mosley's impact would be profound, immediate, and capable of reshaping perceptions of Dallas's defensive identity. Inside the Cowboys' locker room, whispers about C.J. Mosley's possible integration have sparked speculation regarding the cultural and psychological effects of his presence, beyond the obvious physical upgrades. Sources suggest that Mosley's reputation for professionalism, preparation, and accountability could influence team norms, particularly among younger defensive players who are still establishing their identities in the NFL. Analysts have speculated that his mentorship might extend to film study habits, practice routines, and pre-game preparation, enhancing overall team discipline and situational awareness. Rumors indicate that Mosley's arrival could allow the coaching staff to redistribute responsibilities among linebackers, granting flexibility for creative play calling and diversified defensive packages designed to confuse opposing quarterbacks. Discussions around his leadership qualities also highlight potential shifts in communication dynamics, both on and off the field, fostering a culture of trust, accountability, and proactive problem-solving that could permeate the defensive unit. Fan conversations online often speculate about the synergy between Mosley and other veterans on the roster, imagining scenarios where his influence elevates performance across the defensive line and secondary. Some insiders even suggest that his presence could serve as a stabilizing force during high-pressure moments, with the capacity to keep the unit focused and cohesive when games hang in the balance. While these cultural and psychological dimensions are inherently difficult to quantify, the speculation surrounding Mosley's signing underscores the belief that his impact would be holistic, encompassing both measurable performance improvements and subtler, morale-driven advantages that could shape the team's identity for seasons to come. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.